So, you always wished you were one of the top students in your school or maybe even around the world. You always struggle to get past the D grade or the C grade. You are here because you want to change those C grades to A++. You want to become the top 1% of students because you are tired of being a failure or an idiot. Okay, listen up, idiot. Getting a low grade doesn't mean you are a failure. You just haven't found out what works for you.
I will give you strategies on how to become the top 1% of students. Reason number 1.
Showing up. First off, let's talk about showing up. I mean, actually showing up to class. I know that 8 a.m. class is brutal, but trust me, it's gold. You're getting the info straight from the source, plus you're telling yourself that you care about your grade. Win-win, right? Stop deceiving yourself. Now here's the thing about class, don't just be a zombie. Engage. When I say engage, I mean talk when your class is having discussions about the subject. Do this even if you hate the student or the teacher, because you will never learn when you hate the person teaching. Remember that. Also, ask questions, even if you think they're dumb. Trust me, half the class is probably wondering the same thing. Plus, your teacher will love you for it. 2 words of the day. Remember that moment when you're reading and hit a word you don't know? You know that feeling, right? When you're tempted to just close the book and call it a day? Don't do it. That's your brain trying to trick you into being lazy. Lazy, you're a lazy idiot. Instead, look it up, write it down, make it your word of the day. Before you know it, you'll be dropping SAT words like, it's nothing. You know one of those smart kids in your class, you will one day find yourself talking like them, and then you're going to say to yourself, damn, where did these words come from? If you always struggle to research the words you don't know, I have this app called Vocabulary that sends me new words every day to learn. It gives me the meaning of the words and examples in a sentence. So head on over to Play Store or App Store to download the app now. 3. Memory consolidation. You know that feeling when you walk into a room and totally blank on why you're there? It's like your brain just decided to take a quick vacation, right? Oh man, it reminds me of this time when I was a kid. My mom sent me to grab her bag and her glasses so she could give me money for ice cream. Guess what? I came back with just the bag, no glasses. Classic. It's funny how our brains work sometimes. See, what happened was my brain only remembered what it wanted to. The bag. It's like my hippocampus was on point with the bag, but then my brain got all excited about ice cream. That dopamine rush from thinking about the sweet treat basically overrode everything else. It's like there was this epic battle in my head between remembering the important stuff and dreaming about ice cream. And, well, ice cream won that round dot. But here's the cool part. Scientists have found out that we can actually train our brains to be better at remembering stuff. It's like giving your memory muscles a workout. Pretty neat, right? There are 3 ways you can train your brain to remember things, but I can only share with you one way to do this, because if this video is 6 minutes long, you will lose motivation. And that reminds me, I haven't shown you how to stay motivated when studying. Have you ever tried creating little stories or images in your head when you're trying to remember something? It's called visual imagery, and it's pretty wild. Okay, imagine you're studying the layers of Earth's atmosphere for your science class. Instead of just trying to memorize a bunch of names and numbers, let's turn it into a crazy story. Picture this. You're in a hot air balloon, starting from the ground up. First, you're in the troposphere, where it's warm and cozy. That's where we live, right? As you float higher, you enter the stratosphere. Imagine it's filled with colorful parachutes because that's where skydivers jump. Now you're so high up, you're in the mesosphere. It gets super cold, so picture yourself shivering while surrounded by glowing meteors burning up. That actually happens there. Next up is the thermosphere, which sounds hot, right? So imagine your balloon catching on fire, but don't worry, it's just the aurora lights putting on a show. Finally, you reach the exosphere where your balloon pops, and you're floating in space with all the satellites. I know it sounds totally bonkers, but trust me, the next time you need to remember the layers of the atmosphere for your test, you might just picture this wild balloon ride, and boom, the information will pop right into your head.
I highly recommend using memory consolidation if you are someone who always loses motivation to learn or study, because when you use this technique, you are turning that procrastination into something useful. This makes you a better idiot. If you don't want to be an idiot again, hit up the subscribe button.